Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, you guys. Hello to all those watching at the Passport Pro YouTube channel. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Good night, or whatever you're doing right now. Today, here in the Philippines, it's a Wednesday and it's 9:30 p.m. Exactly 9:30 p.m. And this is episode 3 of What's the Tea. And for this episode, we have invited a very, very special guest. Today's feature interview is where we're diving into the vibrant world of Cebu City, one of Philippines' most exciting destinations. I'm sure you guys have what do you call this? Have visited here, and Cebu is also known for its stunning beaches, rich cultural heritage, and dynamic city life. Cebu is a traveler's paradise with something for everyone. So if you like the mountains, the beach, the city, everything is here for you. So, our guest today is a seasoned tour guide specializing in the wonders of the province of Cebu. From the historical landmarks of Cebu City to the pristine waters of Mualbual and the majestic waterfalls that is Kawasan, our guests have helped countless visitors discover the heart and soul of the Queen City of the South. So, if you're looking to explore Cebu's hidden gems, savor its world famous lechon, or immerse yourself in its unique blend of modern and traditional cultures, this conversation is for you. So get ready for valuable insights, tips, stories that will inspire your next Cebu visit. So for tonight, are you guys ready to meet our very special guest? None other than English tour guide Lish Hamero. Hello, good evening. Hi. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hello,
Can you
good
speak a
evening.
little bit? Like say hi. There we go. Hello, hello. Good evening to you. Thank you so
Hello.
much for being here and joining us.
Hello,
How are you
can you
today?
hear
Or
me?
tonight, rather. Yeah, we can hear you. How are you tonight?
I'm currently painting my condo today.
Wow, very
I'm
busy
currently
girl.
painting my condo.
You're painting your condo. Wow. It's nice having a life as an English tour guide. You could actually have a condo
Yes,
of your own.
ma'am.
But anyway, thank you so much for being here and joining the what do you call this, the What's the Tea, our weekly live stream for Passport Bro. And we want to say good evening to who's this, Mary Jean Angoy. We have Hercules Sison. Wow, nice name. We have Mary Jean saying good evening again, and Hanny Jean, and Encore is saying yes. Okay, let's do this, guys. Thank you so much for being here and watching. So let's get started of getting to know Lisha Mero, the English tour guide here in Cebu City. So, for now, can you tell us about your experience as a tour guide and how long have you been in this industry?
Okay, I've got my Department of Tourism license since 2019. And
Oh,
I just got
nice.
started when, yes. And then right after that, the pandemic happened. So it's a really good timing for me. But anyway, how's being a
I love
tour
the
guide?
sarcasm.
Okay, how's being tour guide for me? When we are having a job, obviously, we can experience stress, we can experience some pressure. But the thing about being tour guide is you get to enjoy the work at the same time because you get to travel for free. So for
Mhm,
me, it
true.
it suits my attitude because I'm not into an office type of person. I'm a field
Mhm.
person, so it's a really, really something great for me as a tour guide.
So it's safe to say that you're an outgoing type of person, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Also, thank you so much for that, Lish. So, what inspired you? Since you mentioned that you said that you're an outgoing person, you're a field person. So, what inspired you to become a tour guide, and what do you enjoy most about this job? Like, was this your passion? Growing up, did you aspire to be a tour guide when you were little?
Yes, you're right. Actually, I have two aunties. That's two titas. That's actually a Japanese tour guide, and I grew up looking at them. And then they've been doing this tours everywhere in Cebu, like the heritage places and even the highlights, which is you've mentioned earlier, the whale shark, the Kawasan Falls. So I've been eyeing to be a tour guide since I was elementary, and
Wow.
yeah, who would have thought that I would be a tour guide this last 2019 until now? And
Congratulations.
yeah, and then what the question was, what makes me what inspires me to be a tour guide, right?
Yeah,
Did I
yeah,
hear that
yeah.
properly?
That's
Okay.
right. What inspired you to become a tour guide?
Aside from my two titas over there,
Hello, titas.
yeah, hello, Tita, the mother of Leonard, and I'm joking. But anyway, um, yeah, for me as a tour guide, you have to be a people person because you're not just dealing with different nationality, but you're actually showing how it would be or the culture itself, how the Filipino is. So I'm
She just cut off. All right. So, yeah. All right, continue, please.
actually the frontliner as your friendly. Yeah, how friendly. What inspires me is that you are bringing the flag of Filipinos, the pride of Filipino, and it makes me happy how my tourists appreciate how I am being a Filipina. So that inspires me of like seeing them enjoying the tour, seeing them that they're very curious about the country. We may be thinking that Philippines is nothing, there's nothing in here, but to be honest, as a tour guide, you can really say that people are eyeing or dreaming to be in the country, in the Philippines. So that inspires me to be a tour guide actually.
Nice, nice. So, since you are an English tour guide, so you've worked with international travelers, who mostly are, what race mostly are your clients?
I normally handle Europeans,
Okay.
and yeah, mostly Europeans, and I rarely get to have a Japanese, but mostly Europeans. I would say, generally speaking, like Europeans. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. Like, which, if you were to travel the world, Lish, I'm just curious about this. Since you've shown people around Cebu, so which part of the world would you want to travel to if you ever get given the opportunity?
Japan,
Where?
Japan.
Japan, yes, it's a dream. So we have actually someone watching, Maureen Mendez saying, "I'm a tour guide too in my own house." Okay, is
Okay.
someone is asking, Morty is asking, are you multilingual?
Oh, technically, because I speak Tagalog, English. No,
Bisaya?
I actually Bisaya also. So I that's the beauty of Cebuana because if you are a tour guide from Cebu, you speak Cebuana, you speak Tagalog, you speak English. But if you are talking about international language, I don't really speak international language. But I was trying to learn Japanese since my two titas are Japanese tour guides. So
Dude, that's
I
nice.
started to learn Japanese since pandemic, but I stopped after pandemic because everything was busy already, so I didn't have time to continue my Japanese language.
Lessons. All right. So basic Japanese for now.
Correct.
All
Hajime
right.
mashite,
There.
namaiwanan desu ka.
Let's stick to English. I can't understand it. Oh my god. So, to everyone who's watching right now, if you have questions, if you're interested about what it is to become an English tour guide, or you just have questions for Lish, you can drop them in the chat below. We'll be having a giveaway after this interview. So let's get to know our English tour guide, Lish Hamero. So, John Ebreo says Japan is a mostly introverted country. I'm not sure if that's true. Is it? Is it? And
Most
also Russell
introvert country?
Joy Olivero says hello sa mga Bisaya out there. Yes, shout out to the Bisaya. Two Bisaya girls are in this live stream right now.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, hello. So let's continue getting to know Lish Hamero. So since it requires knowledge and expertise of actually becoming a tour guide, like you have to have necessary skills like being intrapersonal, being a good communicator, being all that. So we want to dive into that aspect of being an English tour guide. So now I want to test your knowledge, Miss Lish.
Oh,
What
let
are
me
the
hear.
top attractions? Yeah, what are the top attractions or experiences you recommend for travelers seeking a mix of local culture and affordable luxury? Since Cebu is a mix of that, what are your suggestions to the tourists if they want a mix of local culture and affordable luxury?
Hmm. I would say because the Cebu, the beauty of Cebu is we have um, a really good landscape. The best thing about Cebu is we have the best of both worlds, which is if you want to go to the mountains, we have Busay, we have Balamban, we have Tops of Circle, like we have this Temple of Lea. Now, if you want to go to the ocean, and we have Mactan Island right away. So from the city, it will take you maybe more or less 30 minutes. So these two things are already highlight of Cebu. Even if you are in the city, you get to do something already. Because a lot of people are curious about what can you do in Cebu. Obviously, you always think of whale shark. You always think of Kawasan Falls, Moalboal.
Mhm.
These three things are the highlighted one in South Side. But I want to mention about the north side of Cebu, which is the hot spring and cold spring, which is not all the tourists, or not all tourists knows about this. But I would love to mention this one in this live because I want people to know that there's more in Cebu aside from South. Now, to answer your question, T, when it comes to local stuff, you know, obviously when you say Cebu, automatically people would think about Magellan's Cross. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Like if
So
you don't know anything about Cebu, you would think, Magellan's Cross in Santo Niño. So yeah,
exactly. So that's actually the iconic place of Cebu. They always say this: if you don't
just bear with her. She's
have a
painting her
picture of
question.
Magellan's Cross, it's like as if you haven't been here. So
Mhm.
yeah, I would suggest you should discover the heritage places in Cebu because there's a lot of them. Aside from Magellan's Cross and Santo Niño, we even have the San Diego House, the 1600 house. Come on, that's a 1600
Yeah,
house. It's still
yeah.
alive and kicking. Yeah, and we even have Casa Gordo, and there's a lot of the Fort San Pedro. So these are the things that you can discover. And aside from the places, obviously you have to think about lechon because Cebu cannot be Cebu without
Not
lechon.
lechon. Yes, the
Right?
amazing lechon. And the
Yes.
best, where to get the best lechon? It's in Talisay, since it's the
Yes,
newest lechon
actually.
capital in Cebu. That's right. But
Yes.
anyway, since you've mentioned about the ancestral homes, the heritage sites that Cebu has to offer, so you can be immersed in the history and the culture of Cebu, you guys. There's a thing here in Cebu that is, we call it Gabi sa Kabilin. Mostly locals and tourists alike participate during Gabi sa Kabilin because it's where you actually walk around the streets of Cebu and visit these heritage sites. And usually it happens around August or September. Am I correct, Lish? Is it August or
Uh,
September? Gabi sa Kabilin?
May? I guess May, if I'm not
Oh,
wrong
May.
though.
Sorry, May. Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes they change date depending
Correct.
on
Yeah.
the moment, I guess.
Availability.
So
Yeah.
there's a very interesting question that was sent over the YouTube channel. Renzi Talavera says, "In my younger years, I thought you needed to have to be a graduate of tourism to be a tour guide. Is
No.
that true?"
No, I always get this question a lot, even in my person, like to my friends. No,
Mhm.
to be exact, no, you don't need to be a graduate of tourism management for you to be a tour guide. The thing about my license is for you to be able to get this is Department of Tourism Region 7. They normally offer this for the training. Now, if allow me to go into details, there's a payment you have to enroll, and it will take
Okay.
you 1 month for you to get the license, and there's going to be a seminar, there's going to be exams and everything, and that's only for a month. Now you have to pass this before you get the license, obviously. So if ever you don't pass, then obviously you have to pay again and wait for another trainings. It's not easy though, just to let you know, because being a tour guide is not just about how knowledgeable you are, but you also have to be, like a perky person. Like, how do you say this? You have to be a people person. You have to
Yeah.
be bagagnang. How do you say that in English?
Thick face.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, to answer the question, yeah, you don't need to be a graduate of tourism management just for you to be a tour guide.
Okay, I hope that answered your question, Renzi Talavera. So maybe you guys can, if you're interested in becoming a tour guide, maybe you can ask Alicia Mero for tips on how you can do that. By the way, Aldwin Aleba says she's lagging. Yes, she's currently lagging because she's using her mobile data. Since she, as she mentioned earlier, she's in her condo. It's a new condo. She's painting her walls. Yeah, the life of being an English tour guide, you can afford a condo. There you go. But anyway, good evening to Rena Ray and hello to James Virai who's watching, and to everyone in our YouTube. What do you call this? Our YouTube channel who's watching the live stream. Another question from our watchers. Hani Jean Abrio says, "How much to pay to become a tour guide?"
Okay, that really depends of the supplier though, but I'm not gonna mention the suppliers, okay? But normally it's more or less 30,000.
To become a tour guide?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh?
Yes,
What?
ma'am. That's not easy, money. That's why you really have to pass. So
Oh my.
mostly 25,000 to 30,000. The one that I was paying, I
Uh huh.
paid around 30 something ish. Yeah.
Because you need to have a license to become an actual tour guide, like a
Right.
legit tour guide, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's even bigger than paying for like a driver's license.
Exactly.
I,
So a
I
lot of
didn't know
people think
that.
that it's easy, but no, it's not easy at all.
Any profession, like to everyone who's watching, any profession is not easy. Like you may think like it's easy when you're just watching them do their job, but the
Right.
actual work they put into becoming that professional is way more. I know this because I was a radio DJ for 8 years, and people just say, "Ah, that's so easy. You can just speak in straight English. You'll be a radio jock." No, mind
No.
you. So that applies to actually becoming tour guide. So
Right.
hello to Princess and Princess Virtudazo
No.
and
Yes.
Rissel and a lot more. We're gonna go through all your chats later on. I think what Hani Jean Abrio says, I think I misunderstood her question. It's her question is actually how much do you pay a tour guide?
Okay.
Yeah.
We actually have our own tariff from the Department of Tourism. So
Hmm.
that I cannot say the exact amount because it's really depend on what kind of tour and how many people, how
Hmm.
many guests that you're handling. So it really depends on what type of tour and how many packs that you're handling.
Ah, okay. So
Yeah.
it depends. It depends.
Right. Correct.
Okay, all right. So since we're done with the rates and all, how about this? Since you've talked about the local heritage, the culture of Cebu that you include in your tours for international tourists, how well do you know the local nightlife scene here? Since you have to experience it to actually talk about it, right? So
Right. Right.
how well do you know the local nightlife scene here in Cebu? And can you provide a safe and fun recommendation to the tourists so that they don't get culture shocked of what Cebu nightlife is?
Okay, I have to emphasize this part. Now, if you are talking about a foreigners coming here to Cebu and they know that Cebu is known for parties, obviously as a tour guide, I will recommend Mango Avenue, right? Mango
Yes, the
Avenue, man.
nightlife capital of Cebu.
Yes.
But how
But
about now? Yeah, like
um
you mentioned Mango Avenue. Since the party kind of died down and some of the nightlife in Mango or the bars in Mango have closed down since the pandemic and they're slowly building it up again because before the pandemic, Mango was booming. Like I
yeah.
made a video about this on our YouTube channel. If you guys haven't checked that out, Red Light District and Mango Avenue. But anyway, um it's not the same as before the pandemic, right? Like how do
Yeah.
you cope with this?
Um, it's so hard for us because Mango Avenue is really, really famous when you say a party place in Cebu. Obviously, Mango Avenue directly. But right now, since personally I do my own thing, um, we normally suggest depends on where the location of our tourists. For example, if
Uh-huh.
they are staying in somewhere in F Cabahog, I'm not sure if the listener knows about this, somewhere in
Panagdait?
Pasig, yeah, Panagdait. So obviously we say Icon because Icon is very popular. Now,
True.
if you say somewhere in Banilad, if they're staying somewhere there, then there's gonna be Core, there's gonna be 88 Avenue. So
Hmm.
in short, to answer that exact question is that it really depends where the location is. Because if you say your tourist is living in Mactan, or let's just check in Mactan, well, you can suggest the city party or the bars, but normally the guest would say, "Oh, that's really far, Lish. Is there something in Mactan Island? Something like that." So
Yeah.
these are the things that you have to consider. You may know a lot of bars in Cebu, but you have to consider the location of your guests.
Yeah, true.
Yes. So I think that would be my right answer for that.
So flexibility on your suggestions. It
Correct.
depends on where they are, where they're staying, and what they like to see.
Correct. Yeah.
So, so to answer to rebut your statement, Russell Joy Oliveros, she says you just need to have a poker face lang pala to be a tour guide. Well, as what Lish said, you need to have that flexibility. You need to have that creativity of like suggesting to the tourists, and have the knowledge and the professionalism as well to actually become a tour guide.
Right. Right.
Daryl says pleasing personality is a must to becoming a tour guide. Is
Correct.
it
Correct.
correct?
100%. 100%.
Yeah, because you need to. If you have my face, like if you have a RBF face, resting B face, like I do, I can't be like a tour guide. Like I know how to speak well, but I'm not people please. I can't please as
People,
like
please.
yeah, as like what Lish does. Like she is able to communicate well with the tourists, so it's not for everybody, I guess. So if you don't have the patience is also one thing as a trait of being a tour guide, right? All right. So moving on. As we go along, we get to know all the traits, the skills that you need necessary to be a tour guide. But anyway, you've mentioned the heritage scene, the local or historical parts of Cebu, the nightlife, of course, because we need to have that to
Yeah.
unwind during the night. And how about this? This one is quite tricky since you have a knowledge of a lot of famous places that are go-to spots in Cebu. Are you familiar with any hidden gems or off-beaten path that are not on the typical tourist itineraries? Like if you have like a client that's asking, like, do you know any hidden gems, hidden spots in Cebu that I can visit that no one else knows about? What would you suggest?
Um, well, if you say tourist spot, obviously south side of Cebu is very common, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, if I have a tourist that would look for a not touristy spot, I obviously suggest the north side of Cebu, which is they don't know about Medellin, they don't know
Oh,
about how
yeah.
beautiful Medellin is, they don't know about Tuburan. Tuburan has a lot of springs to offer.
Yeah.
So these are the things I cannot say or mention the exact name of that area, but I would say the town itself in the north side of Cebu is something to look forward to. Even me as a tour guide, if I have free time, I drive around to north side and discover about this place, and then I'm like, oh, so this place exists. Like for example, in Tuburan, the Blue Hole. If some of you knows about Tuburan Blue Hole, long time, like around 2019, I've been there
Mm-hmm.
and not there's no people at all. It was just me and one friend. That's all. And look
Can
at
you explain what Blue Hole is? Because
Blue Hole.
yeah,
Some of them ask about Blue Hole. Okay, Blue Hole
yeah.
is literally blue hole. Like it's a blue and it's a circle, it rolls.
So
Literally,
it's a body of water.
yes, it's a body
Okay.
of water.
It's blue and it is a hole. Okay. So it's kind of like a spring. It's a
Spring, yeah.
blue. Okay.
Yeah, it's a blue, like it's a spring, obviously, but it's just too. It's literally blue. Yeah, the color of the spring. The
So it's
color
like
of the spring is blue.
so internationally, there's an international spot like in the States that's called a Jacob's Well. So if, for you guys who are not familiar with Blue Hole Spring, it's kind of like a Jacob's Well, but it's safer because
It's
Jacob's
safer.
Well is just it's like a rock. There's like a seabed, and then there's a big hole in it. But
Yeah,
Blue Hole is like it's surrounded by trees like mangroves, and there's like a
yeah,
blue hole, but it's safe, not like
yeah.
Jacob's Well. But anyway, good evening to Ria Mel, Beatrice Senna, and Maureen Mendez, who's still here with us. Any other hidden gems that you want to promote as well, like here in Cebu?
Camotes! If some of you doesn't know about Camotes, you should go about Camotes. I know some of you knows about Bantayan Island
Yes,
because Bantayan Island is our mini Boracay in Cebu, but trust
true.
me, you should go to Camotes Island too.
What can we expect if we go to Camotes? Because personally, I'm a Cebuana and I'm a disgrace. I haven't been to Camotes. I've been to the other islands of Cebu, but I haven't been to Camotes. Like for me, what can you suggest for me? Like if I'd go to Camotes, where's the best place to go to?
Camotes is very known for caves.
Okay.
There's a lot of caves in there, and then when you go, for example, me, I've been there personally because I haven't like I didn't go because I have tourists. I went there because I
Mhm.
want to go discover Camotes. So when I went there, when I discovered that their caves, it's really amazing because when you go like inside like the tip part of the cave, there's a part where you can swim and it's a crystal clear water and something,
Oh.
yes, and I forgot the names though. I'm so sorry because there's a lot of caves there. But if you go to Camotes, the local people will automatically mention all these caves. That's it has like crystal clear water where you can
Mhm.
enjoy it, and especially there's no people yet. I mean, it's not tourist spots, so it's something
It's less
intimate.
commercialized than
Yeah, it's
Bantayan
not.
and Malapascua.
Right, right. And then also aside from that, Camotes has the fine white sand too. Santiago, the name of that area. So it
Mhm.
is something to like. I would say to look forward to when it comes to a tourist that doesn't want to have that spot that's commercialized. You know, like people will go there because it's famous already. No, you go there
Yeah.
before it will be famous. Something like that.
True, true. Like you could actually experience like the untouched natural beauty that is Camotes Island.
Right.
Morty says, is there kamote in Camotes Island? Very funny, huh? I'm not sure why it's called Camotes though, but
No, don't ask me
no,
because I'm not. I
that
don't know.
we're not historians. We're not historians right here. Hello to Valerie Trimidal, who's watching right now. Hello and good evening. I hope you guys are enjoying. So, if you have other questions to our guest, that is Liz Shamero, she's an English tour guide. If you have questions for her, please drop them in the comment section below so we can ask her as always. And right now we're getting to know what her job is, who she is, what she does, and everything to know about her actually, especially her work. So since you've said you have actually suggested a lot of different destinations that you can go to here in the Queen City of the South, or Cebu province in general. So since there's a lot and there's so much to do actually in Cebu, and there's so little time, especially for the tourists, because they have a schedule. So how do you customize your tours to suit the interests of solo travelers or small groups?
How do I customize it? First of all, I normally ask them what are the things that they want to do. Because sometimes if you offer them directly because you think that it is famous and they must do this, and then when they received it, they're like, we're not into the ocean, we're not into
Mm.
swimming. So that's how I customize it. Like, I will ask first what are the things that they would want to do. That's when
Mhm.
I suggest the location, the places that they would want to visit. And if you say how many days and all these things, well, 3 days is enough in Cebu for me. But that really depends on what nationality. I would love to emphasize that part because, again, I'm handling different nationality. So there are
Mm-hmm.
some nationality that they're not into the ocean. They're just into something relaxing, you know? So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so these are the things that you have to consider as a tour guide, most especially when you meet them and the first time you meet them. Obviously, they don't have this itinerary, so you have to sell everything what's in Cebu. So that's one thing that you have to be, how do you say, fast thinker. Like you have to think fast. What are the
Mm-hmm.
things that they want to do? And before you suggest, you have to keep asking questions.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
it has a process. It need to have
Yes,
a well thought of process, like their budget, their interest,
yes,
the what do you call this? How many days they're staying, the duration of their stay, and the
right.
location. So these are the things that you do before the actual tour. Like you
Correct.
have to ask them questions, get to know them as tourists.
Yes, correct.
Okay, all right, awesome. So Kirby Man says, Lish is always smiling and it's contagious. And we have other questions from the YouTube channel, but we're going to get to that later because I have a follow up question regarding what you just said. So, since you talking about customize your tour list, or what do you call this, tourist spot list that you suggest to your solo travelers, do you also help arrange recommend accommodations like transportation or dining options so that they can balance the affordability and quality of the food that they take here or the food that they eat here in Cebu?
Yes. Well, for me, it would be great if you offer not you just don't offer the place, but you also have to offer the transportation. Very, very important. And
Mm-hmm.
well, obviously, you have to suggest the food area because there are some tourists that they're very sensitive about food. You have to consider that one too. Even if you think that you like it, but there are some people that you don't have the same preference of food. And
Mm-hmm.
aside from that, you also have to consider that there's a lot of, if for example, you have a Muslim tourist and then you are
Mm-hmm.
suggesting lechon because lechon
Big
is
no no.
right. It's a big no-no. So these are the things that's very, very important as a tour guide that you have to know. You do profiling first. Who is your tourist? What
Mhm.
is your tourist? So for me, to answer that, transportation is number one because you cannot just go around Cebu City. Especially the tourist spot is not just in the city alone, it's far from the
Mhm.
city. And second, accommodation. Well, there are some that the travel operator, like the travel agency, would come, like it's included in their package because I'm a tour guide, so I'm a freelance tour guide, by the way. So the travel agency will just hire me if they want
Okay.
tour guide. So these are the things that I don't handle: the accommodation, the transportation. But if I have friends who are coming here to Cebu, well,
Mhm.
advantage of them because I am their friend, because I'm a tour guide, so I can just suggest us transportation, accommodation. But if
Mhm.
you say a tourist from different countries, so they are just coming here with a travel agency. So the travel agency would call me and tell me where are the location, where are the accommodation. That comes with the transportation. So I think that would be it. It's very important to have accommodation and transportation in
All
Cebu.
right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So much to think about. Like you need to be good at managing these things.
Exactly.
You need to have management skills actually to become a tour guide.
Yes.
So since we're talking about the adaptability of becoming a tour guide, how do you customize your tours to suit the interests of solo sorry, how do you introduce visitors to local customs and etiquette, especially for those who may be unfamiliar with the culture, since as you said they have different interests, they like different things when they visit here?
Yeah. How? What do you mean? Like, how do I introduce the Filipino culture alone?
Yeah, for example, you have like a client who is unfamiliar with the culture, and they're not what do you call this, they're picky with the culture. So how do you introduce visitors to local customs and etiquette, especially those who may be unfamiliar with the culture of Cebu?
Well, first of all, the tourists, they don't just come here without searching Philippine country alone. Like,
Hmm.
that's my case because I haven't really encountered tourists that's lost about what's in the Philippines. So, they know how it would be in the country. They know that Filipinos are just obviously smiling, like friendly. That's number one. And something like about Philippines. When they come here, they obviously um parang how to say it, like set the expectation. They know that Filipinos
Hmm.
are friendly. When they come here, it's legit friendly. They're not actually disappointed because, oh, this is what other people say. But then when they come here, well, okay, it's really right. So that how when they come here, the number one common thing that they would appreciate in the culture is like Filipinos, language wise, we speak English.
Hmm.
Like,
True.
this is very important for tourists because when they go to other Asia country, for example, they go to Thailand, whatever, wherever they are, when they come here to Philippines, Lish, I'm so happy because the majority of the Filipinos speaks English. That's one thing that they notice right away. So for
Yeah,
me,
true.
and culture wise, like Filipinos are just too friendly. Like you can just speak to them right away. Even if you're lost, you're good because if you ask around, people will just tell you where the location is in a friendly way. So
True.
these are the things that even without tour guide, tourists would experience directly how the culture of the Filipinos is, like being friendly, being hospitable, kind of these things, like, you know.
Yeah. All right. I get you. I get you.
Yeah.
So, thank you for sharing that. Now, different tour guides. Like you mentioned, there are Japanese tour guides, English tour guides, and different tour guides in general. How do you make your tourists engaging to ensure that your travelers feel comfortable and secure?
Hmm. Well, that's the beauty of license. Because when the tourists know that you are licensed, then they're like, I'm safe, you know. So
Yeah.
I think, well, I am really emphasizing the value of license because to be transparent with the viewers and with UT, there's a lot of tour
Mhm.
guides here in Cebu without license. So we call this coordinators. We call this I don't want to say the word colorum, but there are things, there are, like, to be transparent with you guys. But
Mhm.
again, license, as a licensed tour guide, the license alone is giving them the security that you are
Mhm.
safe in the country. Like, I'm not saying that you're not safe if you don't have the license, but I'm saying that this is one of the factor that makes them feel that they're fine, they're good. They're,
Mhm.
especially when they book their tours in a travel agency. But for the backpackers over there, don't worry, you're still safe because the country alone is safe. But I
True.
would say, by speaking to them, if I don't have a license, for example, and I do tour guiding, well, you have to have a pleasing personality. That's really something good with the comment of our viewer over there, because
Yeah.
us being a, if you have this pleasing personality, it's easy for the tourists to have that trust,
Mhm.
because obviously when you put your shoes to their shoes, right? Like if you go outside country and you don't have a pleasing personality, you were like, no thank you, no thank you. But when they come here, it's so obvious that Filipinos has this kind of attitude that as much as possible we are the servant, like that's the
Yeah, we're
Filipino.
very hospitable.
Yeah, so I think I would say to give the security of the tourists, the license alone, if we are very into the rules thing. But in
Mhm.
attitude wise, even if you're not a tour guide and you have a guest or a foreigner that you met in the road or something, then you being a Filipino, it's already a security for them. I
Yeah, that's true. Like if you are traveling, you'd actually ask locals where to go to because they know the great spots
Right.
of where to visit because they're the locals. They know everything about the place. But
Right.
anyway, we have a question over from our YouTube channel. John Ebreo says, "What is the hardest part of being a tour guide?"
I really like that question. Good job. Okay, what's the hardest part of being a tour guide? Honestly, I've been doing this for how many years now, but the hardest part of being a tour guide is you have to keep adjusting your attitude, showing energy. Most especially, we have our personal life, and you're going through a lot
Yeah.
of stuff. And then, being a tour guide, this is not just a office thing that you're facing a computer. You're obviously you're facing a different personality and a different culture, a different, these kind of things that you have to consider. And sometimes you cannot be a perky person because they always say that you have to be perky, you have to be
Yeah.
alive. No, no, no. You have to consider your tourist too. Maybe your tourist is not a perky person. They don't like that kind of attitude.
Yeah. They get
So
annoyed with that attitude.
exactly. So these are the things that I would say it's hard because you have to profile your guests. Like, who is this guest? What is this
Hmm.
back? What are they back? Well, like, what are their background? Like, why are they here in the first place? So you have to consider this, and you have you're wearing different masks as a tour guide.
Oh
So,
God.
yeah, so that's
So you're
another
technically
one.
pretending to be this
Yeah.
character just to please your client.
Right. Correct.
Oh my
Yes.
God,
So
that's so tiring. That's so tiring. I can't mask my RBF. Like I personally, Lish, I salute you for having this type of profession because honestly, for me personally, I can't. I can't. Like if I hate this person, you will see it in my face. So I can't mask that. Not
yeah.
as good as you do. So thank you so much for that question, John Ebreo. That was really mind opening as well. Like every profession really has its downside, it has its upside, benefits, and all that. But sometimes there are just days that you just you just can't. So
Yeah.
another question from James Viray. Oh my, why is this all negative? What do you hate the most about
Harder.
as a tour guide?
What do you hate the most as a tour guide? I wouldn't say hate is a strong word,
Yes,
honestly.
it's very negative.
Yeah, but I think the most challenging part, no, no, no. Okay, okay. Like, what do you hate about? Um,
Do you have like an answer for this? Because maybe you don't hate anything
I don't
about being a tour guide.
hate anything in my. I mean, like, this is too good to be true. If to like, this is like, okay, it's OA that you don't hate anything here, Lish, but
How about you? The least thing that you like about being a tour guide. How about that? Because hate is it's too strong. Least thing na lang.
the least thing, waking up early.
To give the audience a context about the waking up early, how early did you have to wake up for a
Good. You
tour?
have to wake up 2 in the morning if you have a tourist that's going to the whale shark. So,
God, God
okay, I
damn.
think hate is the right word. I would say the 2 a.m.
You
is my
hate, okay,
yeah,
hate this part.
hated
Oh,
part.
really? Like you have to wake up 2 a.m. because you have to travel from the city, pick up the tourist in the airport, right?
Right.
Can
Or
you like give us like
the
what do you
company.
call this, a breakdown of what you actually do, like for a day in the life of you as a tour guide? Like for example, you have they want to visit the whale shark. How do you go about your day? Like you wake up at 2 a.m. What happens next?
Um, well, the pickup time normally is at 3 in the morning. So I said 2 a.m. because obviously I have to shower and prepare and all that stuff. So after that, I have to meet the driver where they are. Like you have to meet them where they can pass you. Anyway, so after that, meeting the driver, you go to the resort, which is well, for me, in my case, like I obviously have tourists from the Mactan Island, so it's kind
Mm-hmm.
of far from where I live because I live in Cebu City. So
Mm-hmm.
for those of you who wants to know where I live in Cebu City. So I meet my driver, go to the accommodation, for example, Dusitani, Shangri-La, whatever, and then after that, I pick them up with the packed breakfast. With the, like we have to get the packed breakfast from the for the tourists, and then after that, we travel from Cebu City or Mactan Island to the Whale Shark, and that's gonna take you 3 hours more or less. And then the main reason why we have to wake up early, because I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a question after that. So why do we have to wake up early in the morning for Whale Shark? First of all, Whale Shark is a half day tour only,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, and there's also a priority number. So we ask.
There's a line.
Yes, it's a long line. It's not just line, it's a line. It's a really long line.
Hours. It actually takes you hours, you guys. If you haven't visited the whale shark in Oslo, it takes you hours to actually get your turn to see the whale shark. And it's
Exactly.
just for a couple of minutes.
30
You pay
minutes
a lot, you
for the
wait a lot,
day.
and then it's worth it actually.
Yeah. Well, actually, I would say it's really worth it. Trust me. You try waking up early in 3 in the morning and watch the whale shark just one time out of
Yeah,
curiosity.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
all. And you're not. It's okay to not go back there. That's all. So that's obviously my routine. Like when we arrive to the whale shark, that's when we do the line for the tourists, and then when they do the activity. Well, after the whale shark, if just whale shark, we go back to the city. But normally, I don't do that. I have a round south kind of tour. If my tourists will go to the whale shark, that's when we go to Malbual, Kawasan Falls. So yep,
Nice.
that's the hatest
That's
part of being tour guide.
waking up early. I'm so happy that I have a job that allows me to work from home and I don't have to take a bath or wake up early every single
Exactly.
day. So kudos to you, Lish. My God, I can't imagine being a tour guide. So with that being said, if you're not a tour guide, Lish, what profession are you in now? That's a question from Rena Ray over at our YouTube
Guide
channel.
was professional. Well, before I became a tour guide, I'm actually a barista. I do train coffees. I do train latte art. And for those of you who are planning to open a coffee shop, I'm free, so you can get me. So these are the I'm promoting myself here. But anyway, yeah, I'm even until now, I do these things. Even
Yes.
if I'm a tour guide, that's the beauty of being a freelance tour guide, guys. I can
Hmm.
paint my condo anytime because
Yeah, true.
I can just say no to a schedule to any of my travel agency, and then if I have a schedule about barista training, so I can just like
Uh-huh.
reject the schedule. So to answer your question, Reina Ray, I'm a barista and I can help you open a coffee shop if you wish me to be your.
Wow. An entrepreneur, a coffee entrepreneur, a barista for that matter. So
Yeah.
I hope that answered your question, Reno Ray. Another question over our YouTube channel. I love how you guys keep sending out your questions. Thank you so much for doing that. To all the listeners and watchers out there, you can still drop your questions over our YouTube channel, Passport Pro. And later on, we'll be doing a giveaway, Gcash giveaway to everyone who's watching. So stay tuned. And we have a question over from Hani Jean Abreu saying, how do you handle safety issues during a tour? Because for those people who aren't from the Philippines, we know that the crime rate here is kind of high. There's a crime rate and it's not low. So
Yeah.
there are what do you call this? There are snatchers. It's very famous, like especially in downtown Cebu. So how do
Right.
you handle safety issues during a tour? Since, like for example, it's a big packs. It's like 10 packs of clients. How do you handle that? Since
Well,
you're just one girl.
Well, for me, this is just my personal experience though. When you are like if you keep doing the tour already, and then obviously you are familiar what's going on with the area, right? For example, I will just set an example here. For example, Cebu City tour. So obviously you're going around Magellan's Cross, Santo Niño, Yapsandego, whatever that is. Now, every time before we go down to Magellan's Cross or Santo Niño, because this is a walking distance area. So
Mm-hmm.
every time before we go down, I always give them a reminder what to do and what are the things that's gonna like you have to set the expectation in there. Like for
True.
example, tourists, most especially the foreigner faces, when they go down to Magellan's Cross, well, there's a lot of kids asking money in there. So you
Yeah.
have to give them idea that hey, there's gonna be a lot of kids asking money and all, etc. etc. So I would suggest to not give any amount, even one
Mhm.
peso, because if you give one amount or one
You're
kid, there's
gonna
gonna be
flock.
more. Yes, exactly. So that is the thing. That are the common reminder that I would always do. And aside from that, when they bring their bag, well, you don't give them instruction to scare them. That's what I always do. Like, hey, this is not to scare you, okay? But
Hmm.
just don't encourage people to get anything from you. So what you do is you will bring your bag. Just make sure that your bag's in front of you, so you can be
Hmm.
aware what's gonna be. So these are the things that you would always do for you to have that safety
Mm,
reminder
okay.
of your tourists. Because we cannot
So
predict the things, right?
true, true. That's right. Like you don't know what's gonna happen because you
Yeah.
can't control everything. You can only
You know,
control
as a
a
tour
specific amount of thing.
guide. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you set expectations for your tourists, and you also brief them along the way, like especially when visiting downtown areas or
Yeah.
sketchy areas here in Cebu, because we can't, like as locals, there are a lot of sketchy areas in Cebu City, and if you're
Yeah.
not careful, you might get victimized and all that. But anyway, hello to Ellen Bayeta, and there's another question on the YouTube channel, but I'm not sure if this is related to you being a tour guide. And Daryl is asking if you are single.
Can
Oh
you
my
answer
God.
that for me, T?
Is Alicia single? To be decided. Okay, moving forward. We have another question from Hani Jean Abreu asking, what interests you about our what do you mean this? What interests you about our destination? You mean Cebu? What interests you about Cebu, I guess, maybe? From a local's perspective, Lish, what interests you about Cebu?
Well, personally, I love history. Like, I mean, I love going to a place where Spanish colonial time or Japanese
Mhm.
colonial time, because it is something where we came from, like it is very important to me because like, oh, that because I'm born and raised in Cebu. I know the difference between now and before, and then I haven't really seen Cebu 1700, so it's something interesting for me if I get to see stuff like from 1600, 1700, these kind of things. So
Yeah.
that's my personal answer, though. Yeah.
All right. All right. Hope that answered your question, Hanny Jean. One more question before I move on to my interview segment, because the watchers of the live video are the one asking you the questions. They're the interviewer now. Okay. Beatriz Sena says, "Have you ever been toured by another tour guide?"
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah.
Yes. Can you explain? Can you explain how that happened?
Like I have friends, okay, like from different country who would
Okay.
want to come here to Cebu. So obviously, I don't want to be a tour guide because it's gonna be not a professional kind of tour guiding
Yeah.
already. So I would love to hire my other tour guide to do that for me. And then yeah, I'm around with my friends, with my friend tour guides, and it's cute. I like it.
How about this? Follow-up question to the question of Beatriz Sena. For example, if you're not here in Cebu, you're in different part of the Philippines or different part of the world. Have you ever been toured by another tour guide in different parts of the Philippines or the world?
Ah, well, are you talking about just the Philippines alone? If
Yeah, like if you visit this place, you visit a place in the Philippines or different part of the world. Have you ever tried hiring a tour guide?
yes, I've been to Taiwan last March, and just recently I went to Thailand. And there's a tour guide in this particular tour, and the feeling of, oh my god, that's my job, and it's not easy at
You
all.
empathize with them.
And I make sure that they're not they're good. I made sure that they feel good about it. If it's
Yeah.
dead end or dead air, I'm like, hey, well, I always ask questions and these kind.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I made sure that they're okay because I know it's not an easy job, you know.
Yes, it's not. It's not. There's a lot
Yeah,
of things you have to think about. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
There's a comment that says from our YouTube channel again. Maureen Mendez says tour guide is a human GPS. Technically, yeah, you have to know
Technically,
your way around.
yeah, technically, sometimes I am the GPS of the driver because there are some driver that's quite new. Okay,
Really? Like,
oh my god,
I,
please.
isn't it not required for like a professional driver to know their way around the city?
It is required, but well, there are also some drivers who are not from Cebu and they want to
Mm,
get
okay.
to Cebu, and then the thing about being professional driver in tourism is you get to know these places once you are already experiencing it. And I've experienced a driver that's not that it's his first day. I'm like talking to my tourist and my driver is asking question where is the way. So I'm doing multitasking job.
Oh, I cannot. Like, what's
Yeah.
up? What's up, kuya ha? Taisa, kaditang storya sa
Wait,
kanila.
kuya, nagtorya ako
So it's
mag-istorya.
juggling. Yes, juggling a lot of things at the same time. Like you have to keep your clients or your tourists engaged, and you have to like think about your driver. If he's going the wrong way, you're going to your destination. So
Yeah.
it's
I can say
everything
that.
all at once. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I cannot imagine really. So let's go back to the technical side because we're almost at our 1 hour stretch. So we want to wrap this up quick because I know you're busy as well. So let's go to the technical side about being a tour guide. So how do you assist your travelers in navigating practical matters? Like for example, exchanging currency because that's very important. Like they have to have like the Philippine peso, or finding reliable Wi-Fi because here in the Philippines, there's not much reliable Wi-Fi if you're here in the Philippines. So yeah, please do explain.
Well, if you are already a tour guide, well, you will create a lot of connections. That's number one. And
Mhm.
when you say about, let's say, for example, we talk about the currency, then, well, if I have tourists that who randomly wants to change dollar to peso, then automatically I have list in my mind because I already made a rapport or like a connection between the
Ah, okay.
yes. So that's why it's easy for us to navigate which place to go, and most especially you have to consider their location again, their accommodation. You don't bring the tourists to a different path just to change their money, and then their accommodation is far from
Yeah.
that place. So you have to make a lot of connection in the area. So that's one thing, and
Hmm.
yeah, like being a tour guide, you can build a lot of connections because you're around the places, and obviously the owner of the businesses wants you because they are giving you business too.
Yeah, true,
Yeah,
true. Like
yeah,
building connections for yourself, and it helps your job because,
right,
as you know, you guys, the tourists usually have like a tight schedule, right? So you
right,
have to know like people in the area to do the things that you do, like exchange currency, for example.
correct.
And Cebu has a lot of like currency. What do you call that? Like currency store, exchange
Money
stores,
changer.
money changer.
Yeah,
I think I need coffee because my brain is not working. Money changer stores. So there you go. So there's a
yeah,
lot of places for that as well. So it's
yeah,
good that you build up your career as a tour guide and also flourish your connections personally.
correct.
So
Yeah.
one more technical question before we go back to going to like the questions of the viewers. Um, what measures do you take? Sorry, can you share an example of how you handled an unexpected challenge during a tour? Because
Mm,
di ba namalik ka yan, there are some days that you experience like a difficult time because
right.
it's not always easy breezy. So can you tell us about a challenge that you've experienced and how you handled that certain challenge?
Okay, I'm just gonna mention one because
Okay, there's a
maybe
lot.
there are some. Yeah, there's a lot of them, but well, I would say when we were going to the whale shark activity, well, my driver was how do you say this? Hit something, and then
Huh?
our lead wheel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the wheel.
it's everywhere. Like murag naflatan mi ba?
Oh, you got a flat tire. So you hit something and you got a flat tire. Okay, then what
Yeah, and
happened?
then well, obviously you are in a hurry when it comes to the whale shark. You have to catch up the time. Now, Now
Mm-hmm.
I was pressured because oh my god, the wheelchair is busy and I'm experiencing this. And guess what? I'm not just the tour guide that time. I'm also a mechanic. I help my driver changing the oil
What?
to make
So everything all at once, technically.
it
You're a tour guide
done.
and you became a mechanic. So you
Yeah, you
actually fix a tire.
be tour guide, guys. You have to be a manly tour guide too.
You don't it like it doesn't help if you're a girly tour guide. You need to have like that brute skill of actually knowing your way around the vehicle as well. Question: do you
Yes,
have a driver's license, if ever?
yes, I do have a license
So you can be a driver as well, tour guide, mechanic, and a driver for your tourists if ever things go wrong. Yeah.
everywhere. Trust me, I'm all around.
I can feel your stress and
Yes,
your the pressure that you're going through.
yeah.
So, this one, since it's already 10:29 p.m. Let's go to the questions from our official YouTube channel before I do the closing of this interview. So, Morty is asking a question. What makes you happy as a tour guide? Ah, something positive.
I
Nice.
really like this question. I love it. What makes me happy as a tour guide? When my tourists, how do you say it? When my tourists are satisfied with my service, like trust me, my heart is
How do you know that they're satisfied? Do they tell you? Do they give you tips or whatnot?
well. The tip is the number one. I'm joking.
Ah! That's a number one tell that they're happy. Like if it's a big tip, okay, very happy.
Exactly. Well, aside from the tip here, Um, honestly, I am very honored, or how do you say? This is becoming serious now, and because I'm really happy that majority of my tourists
Mhm.
leave a comment to a travel to wherever agency that they
Oh,
go. So every
like
time
they
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 comment,
do like a review of the tour
yes,
that they had.
ma'am,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
So when they do that, and my travel agency will send it to me, and it makes my heart.
Oh, all that hard work, all being a mechanic and getting to the whale shark, it all paid off. Yeah.
Yeah, and aside from that, the travel agency would love to make you a priority of their tour guides list too. So it's a
Oh,
win-win situation. I
nice.
mean, like obviously it's a win-win situation, but these are the things that makes me happy as a tour guide to give them a really great service. Like
Mhm.
honestly, being a tour guide, I think obviously it's not easy. You have to be people pleaser and whatever that is. But sometimes the number one thing that I would say is genuine. Like you're doing that because you're not just doing that because that's your job. You're doing that because you love it. Like you want it. Like you
Yeah.
want people to enjoy. You know, these are the things that not all tour guides have. I'm joking, but I'm just saying. Like you have to be genuine about your service, and
Yeah,
I'm
true.
so happy that majority of the tour guides here in Cebu, not just me, but majority of the tour guides in Cebu is we normally get this comment in Cebu that
Hmm.
tour guides in Cebu are genuine. That's all. Yeah. So I guess that's one thing that makes me happy aside from the tip.
Thank you for that question, Morty. You really brought out the what do you call that? The feely side of being a tour guide. So, being good at what you do and being recognized for what you do, it makes you happy as a tour guide.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, another question from our YouTube channel. Kirby Man says, does being a tour guide pay per tour or quincenas or katapusan? To those who are not Filipino, quincenas means we get paid bi-monthly or end of the month. So there you go. How
Okay.
does
Yeah. No.
how can you
We
answer this question
we
without
get
revealing too much?
We get to pay every tour. So since we are freelance tour guides, so we have a different travel agency. The travel agency normally give the payment every tour. Like right after the tour, we get our payment right away. Yeah, it's not quincenas and
So
katapusan.
this is
We
my
don't have
personal question.
what? I'm scared.
Since you're freelance, so if it's not freelance, so this is my personal question. Since we're talking about the pay, since you're happy with the service that you give and you're doing what you love, like sharing your passion for history about Cebu and all that, does being a tour guide pay well in your personal bias? Does being a
Yes,
tour guide
yes.
pay well?
I wouldn't have this condo, guys, if I'm not.
True! True, sister! Let's go! So, if you're planning to switch industry, you guys, yeah, and you buy your own condo, be a tour guide, a licensed tour guide for that matter. So,
Yes, license again.
yeah. So, if ever anyone is, what do you call this? If ever anyone wants to become a tour guide, can they contact you, Lish, and like ask for tips?
Yes, please. I would love to help you out.
And if ever you guys who are watching right now who are not from Cebu or who has relatives who are coming to Cebu, like from the US or from different parts of the world, or you specifically not from the Philippines and you want to come to Cebu, where can they contact you, Lish, so that they can avail of your services as a tour guide?
Well, my Facebook is public, and I have my number, which is I have the Viber, WhatsApp. Obviously, I'm a tour guide, so I have these kind of things. But that's how I communicate with my tourists also. So Viber, WhatsApp, Telegram, whatever you could think that connects my number, I would love to give you. And then the Facebook at the same time, just in case you want to see something in my
All
Facebook,
right.
wherever I am. So yeah.
Yes, just search for Lish Hamero. And before we say goodbye to Lish, you guys, thank you so much for participating and sending in your questions. Before we say goodbye and end this live video and do a closing, I want everyone here who's watching, because we're doing the giveaway right now. Thank you so much for being
Yay!
here and watching. So I will let Lish be the judge of who will win this this What's the Tea episode's giveaway. Okay, so all you have to do, this is what you have to do. If Lish were your tour guide, where would you want to go and why? So if Miss Lish Hamero, I'll type it down the chat below. If Miss, I can't spell, if Miss Lish Hamero were your tour guide, where would you want to visit and why? Okay, so drop your answers below to win 200 pesos Gcash, yeah, Gcash credit. So, yeah. So, comment that over. So, let's see if people are gonna send in their answers and we're gonna have Miss Lish right here to judge you guys your answers and then have her decide which one will win the 200 pesos. And if ever you weren't able to what do you call this? You weren't able to watch this live while it's live, so we can go over the comments on our YouTube channel as well. And I'll just ask Miss Lish right here to what do you call this? To judge who
Yeah.
will win. Okay, so with that, Miss Lish, can you like, do you want to say anything else? Like, share anything about being a tour guide to our viewers who are watching right now?
Mm. Okay, for those of you who want to be a licensed tour guide, even if you're not a graduate tourism management, just go for it. If you think this suits your attitude, we would love to have you in our industry because we need more tour guides, everyone, because the tourists are a lot already. So I think I would say thank you for watching, for supporting. Also, T here. And thank you, T, for allowing me to have this interview. It's actually something new for me. To me, like, oh my God, I'm in the live, whatever. But I would love to share the whole Philippines to people over there. I'm a tour guide in Region 7, but I can also help you out even in not in Region 7. So even in Palawan, wherever that is. So I would
Yeah,
love,
basically the skills of becoming a tour guide, not necessarily from Cebu.
yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So
Yeah.
there you go. You can approach Lish. She's very helpful if you want to dive into this industry of being a tour guide in the tourism industry. You can approach Lish. You can chat her, message her on Facebook, Lish Hamero. It's in the poster that we posted on Facebook and Instagram. Kirby is asking one winner only. Yes, one winner, 200 pesos Gcash. Tell us. So this is the question: if Miss Lish Hamero were your tour guide, where would you want to visit and why? Best answer that's chosen by Miss Lish right here will receive 200 pesos worth of Gcash, 200 pesos worth in Gcash. There you go. So we have one answer from Hani Jean Abreu, Kawasan Falls, but she didn't tell us why yet. So please, we can end this live video and we can check out your comments later on. But for now, you guys, thank you so much for being here and what do you call this? And participating and being engaging in our Wednesday live. This is What's the Tea. We're gonna check out if we're gonna maintain the schedule 9 p.m. 9:30 p.m. on a Wednesdays, or we're gonna revert back to 11 a.m. on Wednesdays. So Charisse says, "Bahay na pula in Ildefonso, Bulacan. I want to see it, and it's because of the series on Netflix about the comfort women." Comfort women? What does that mean? What is a comfort women? Timeless, heart-stopping, and thrilling. This is the first time I've heard of this.
Yeah, me
Bahay na
too.
pula. Okay, we'll take note of that. We'll take a screenshot of this answer that we have, and I will bother Lish later on. So again, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Once again, please do tune in to next Wednesday's live stream, where we will invite a different professional to tell us all about what Passport Pro is, because Passport Pro is basically sharing the economy, the wonderful places that Philippines has to offer, and encourage foreigners to visit Philippines and love our culture and respect our culture. So there you go. Wait, let me just take a photo of these messages, because sometimes the comments don't show up when I check out YouTube. But anyway, you guys, for those who won, we will be announcing it on our Instagram. That's at passportbroofficial.ph. And we will be announcing it on our Facebook, which is Passport Bro. That's one word, okay? So we will be announcing the winners there. And please do send in your Gcash. You can PM it, and the other host will be coordinating as well. So thank you so much, Lish, again. Have a great night. See you guys soon. And don't forget to check out our other live stream videos. We have soul sessions with MG. We have Ask Me Anything with Jonah, and we have dishes and destination with Sam. They are from different parts of the Philippines host. So check us out. And again, once again, have a great day. My goodbye is very long. Thank you, Lish. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night. And how many days till Christmas? We have 21 days till Christmas time. Goodbye and see you guys soon.
Good night.
Good night.